At a recent book signing from my book Hollow, How I Turned Childhood Trauma into Music, I met a lot of people, and I really enjoy that part of it. What took me by surprise, I guess, though, was the number of people I talked to that had this one thing in common: unresolved trauma. Many of these people were older people than I am, and they carry this pain still. That's how I feel lucky, that I was unable to bear that pain anymore, and I had to do something with it. In comes the guitar. So if you've been following my channel, you know that I try to keep the guitar relatively simple. I'm not a great guitarist by any stretch, but I found a formula that's been working for me for the past couple of years, and it's adding breathwork, mindfulness, like awareness, to some simple guitar. So for this tutorial, I'm going to keep it simple, in my opinion, unless you're brand new to guitar. And if that's the case, then just hang around or subscribe to my stuff, or I have an online course. There's stuff available to you. I want to keep it simple by using the G chord, C chord, D chord, and I use my thumb on the bass note of all three of those chords. And we're going to use this concept of unresolved trauma or pain or stress or anxiety to resolve it. So I know it's a stretch. You're not going to heal a life's worth of trauma with this simple guitar technique, but therein lies the rub. You got to come back, and you got to do this consistently. For me, I started sitting still and processing some pretty uncomfortable emotions and thoughts. And over a pretty short period of time, I broke through. All right, so there's the G chord, and I like using the G chord like with these two fingers. Some people use their index finger and their middle finger, and that's fine too. Whatever works for you, okay? For this one, I'm going to use my thumb for the bass note, and the concept of resolving means coming back around and finishing, you know, like unresolved business. We're going to resolve this whole technique back on the G. I'm going to find a simple rhythm. For me, this is something that just popped into my mind during my morning meditation. It's I'm Now, before you start wondering, well, what notes are those, or how do I do that? That's not at all the point. The point of this activity is not to make it complex, and it's not to memorize what I'm doing. The point of this activity is for you to create something that you can do easily and that you can come back to. So let's put it into practice here. Here's what I mean. I've got the G position, and I'm just going to use the bass note in a very basic pattern like this. I'm starting to feel a rhythm. I can hear the tone come to an end. That's what I mean by resolve. We're going to put three chords together, G, C, and D, and we're going to come back to this G and resolve the whole exercise, start to finish. I'm making like a circle. So do something basic and don't try to copy me exactly. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to breathe. What I did there started simple with the G, transitioned to a C, which is a pretty simple move there. Another reason why I like using this position with the G, because it's a pretty simple transition to a C. The D gets a little bit trickier, but I'm focusing in on this ring finger. Because watch, if I have this ring finger on the G and I move it to the C, when I go to the D, it's still in that same third fret. That's helpful for me. I'm going to play it through a little bit differently this time. Same chords, but adding a little bit more flair to it. But the concept here is resolving. So if something's stressing you out, ruffling your feathers, got you off the beam, try this chord progression and think about what it is that stressed you out while breathing, and then try to come back around and resolve it. And how long do you do this for? As long as it takes. It's just a few minutes generally does it. Here's what a full cycle looks like. Got a little fancy there, hammer-ons, pull-offs. 3 chords, simple technique. I can already feel my shoulders loosening up. And of course, don't forget to breathe. All right then, so what did we learn? There's no magic pill, there's no magic formula other than being consistent. If something's bugging you out, stressing you out, got you a little off center, all right then, pick up the guitar, simple chord progression, and breathe. If you don't resolve things, then they stew and they surface later on. So the whole concept here is to start with something, work through something, and then resolve on something. And the metaphor there is the same thing with trauma, anxiety, stress. Work through it rather than avoid it. That's how you resolve it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.